Today's date, June 30th, 2023. Heat wave. Heat wave. This is the potted butternut squash plant. As you can see, we got some butternut squash growing. People, you can grow butternut squash in a pot. It just needs to be big enough. This is, I don't know, maybe 10 gallon, 5 gallon, I don't know. Whatever it is, it gotta be big. Don't get caught up too much in measurements. See the way nature works, and this is just the way nature works. Nature makes a way. Let me make that plain to you. Whenever you're growing, and whenever you deal with human beings or animals, there's a level of resiliency that plants have and human beings have. Some have more resiliency than others, just like in life, but the plants themselves have some level of resiliency. So yes, you can grow butternut squash in a pot, but this video is not about, this video is about heat wave. 100+ degree temperatures. We had 2 heat waves in 2022. Most, if not all, my plants except the corn survived. So let me give a disclaimer from what I'm about to tell you. There's a chance that your plants won't survive this heat wave. In South Georgia, they had many fields of peppers that didn't survive just a little bit of heat wave. And so I'm just gonna show you a little did last year. Right there, this is our tomato section that you're looking. This is what we call the East Garden. And on the far side with that big shade is the white shade. That's called the West Garden. Then over there behind that, that's the south side or north side. This is the south side. This is not about, I don't do videos about exhibition. Okay, I don't care. My ego is not that, I don't have that kind of ego. I want all gardeners, farmers, and people alike to understand what it takes to keep your garden flourishing. Number one, it'll be a blessing if you can keep all of your produce. That's a blessing. But when you're dealing with the elements, wind, rain, hailstorms, earthquakes, heat waves, cold waves, pestilences, cicadas, grasshoppers, whatever you want to call them, there's no guarantee your crops are going to survive. So obviously, if you were a believer, you keep up prayer and you ask the God for a blessing upon your produce. That's number one. I do that several times a day, not just for that, but for other things in life. So it is with gardening. But let me make something abundantly clear about this heat wave. Don't hope your plants survive, okay? They're not going to survive if you don't take the following steps, okay? Let me take it off of me. Number one, as you can see, I got a shade. Now, I wanted to make this shade longer, but my wife, who does good research on these things, said that the butternut squash, which is way over there, does not need to be protected. So I'm gonna get a shade like this, and that's a 10 by 30 shade. I probably need something about 20 by 30. And I'm gonna put that on the side here. It should be here tomorrow afternoon. This heat wave is supposed to last for a few days. So, 1 or 2 days, plants will survive, but a whole week, it's not necessarily the case. So why am I saying all this? You've got to protect your plants. Let me make that clear. Like any other creature, there's a heat tolerance level that human beings have. Okay, tomatoes, let's zoom in. Their heat tolerance is between 65 degrees and 85 degrees. They go dormant after that, okay? So although you see, tomatoes on my plants, they're gonna continue to ripen, but they're not gonna produce anything new until the temperature gets below that. You can already see in that side there, we've watered those peppers. I don't know if they're gonna make it. I honestly do not know if they're gonna make it. I'll say it again, I don't know if they're gonna make it, but we'll see, okay? I mean, so goes gardening. My wife and I were watching the news the other, and we saw major operations in South Georgia that lost their entire crop, whether it's peppers or anything. So we're fortunate and we're blessed and we're thankful to have some crop left over because of the heat and because of the hail, okay? So there is no guarantee your crops are going to make it unless you take precautions. Cover your plants. That's called a sunshade. It's not that expensive on Amazon. I have a pretty sizable one that I need. You may not need that big. This is also kind of sunshade, okay? But I got it affixed with chains and wood and all that. Do the best you can. And even with all this, there's no guarantee it'll work, okay? So that's it for today. Keep your plants watered. Of course, do the water test. You don't want to overwater plants. You want to make sure that, you know, the plants have exactly what they need. But don't wait on the rain. We're supposed to have some rain in a few hours. Fresh rain from the sun is always good. All right. So right now it's clear, but in a few hours it's going to be raining, and that's always good. Hopefully it won't be too much wind. We lost some plants in the last hailstorm, but hey, Armageddon. And when you're in Armageddon, it's about survival. Plants have to survive, so do you. All right? So if you have any questions, put them in the comment section. Thank you.